we all talk about innovation, and so many people are talking, and innovation is a very abstract term. We know what it is, but it's like, how do you become? And when you look at the successful innovators, successful companies that are innovating successfully for many years, first of all, they have been doing it for many years. And it's the whole company doing it. When you talk to someone, like usually people, when it comes to, okay, let's be more innovative. Okay, here's the process, how you implement idea, how you gather ideas, how you evaluate, and then you get one idea that you commercialize or spin off. But you can't have this process until you don't have all other elements in place. If you don't, like, how will individuals come up with ideas if they're scared that they're not creative? So you have to work with individuals to understand what and how they can contribute. How will they evaluate ideas? How will people give feedback, receive feedback on the ideas? Like, oh, when someone is criticizing your own baby, oh my God, don't do that. Like, we all feel offended. So all this has to be in place. And this is a culture of a company.
Welcome to episode 144. What is innovation? That is one of the questions I ask Barbara Salopek, the brains behind VINCO Innovation Consulting, a company rocking the innovation game in Norway. Barbara drops a golden nugget. To be a true innovator, you must ditch the tunnel vision on your product or tech and put your customers smack in the center. It's a secret sauce to cooking up a product that not only works, but solves real problems, adds value, and leaves a mark on the world. Here's the deal. Getting too cozy with your tech is a bottleneck waiting to happen. Your product rocks, but it's just a fancy gadget if it's not hitting the right chords with your customers. Remember the iPhone? Steve Jobs claimed he wasn't using market research, but he had a PhD in understanding the customers. So don't get lost into your technical solution. Put your customers in the spotlight and watch the magic unfold. And hey, speaking of bottlenecks, I've got something special for you. Head over to my Bottleneck Index for a game-changing resource on busting bottlenecks and boosting innovation. Click the link in the description below and break free from your bottlenecks. And now let's turn to my conversation with Barbara. Hi, Barbara. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Hi, Laurent. It's a pleasure. Thank you for this wonderful invitation.
No problem. I saw you've been a fan now of the podcast. I'm really happy.
Yes, I like it. Quite useful, actually.
Excellent. What have you learned? If you have learned anything from the podcast?
Yes, I learned several things. There was one about delegating, and it was one about this guy that put another person as CEO. That's something that I also have in my mind eventually as well.
Yeah.
Then it was this one that I listened a week ago that I shared with all my employees. I said, you have to listen to this thing.
What was it about?
I remember the picture, not the name, but it was about this guy that I think they're doing also podcasts or something, or promotion. And then he was talking about the importance of PR, and also about PR and what does it mean to be a CEO. And like, I could resonate a lot with what he was saying in the
Was it Jeremy, maybe?
Yes.
Jeremy Slater. Yes, that was a good one. I only have like great guests. I'm sure you're gonna be
I think you have I listened to a woman, female as well, I think. But now I'm lost after so many.
No, all right. It's always interesting to get.
But there is, in each of them, there is something that I learn and I find valuable, and I like the length. It's not too long, not too short. So that's.
I'm really happy to hear. It's interesting that you talk about delegation, because we will come back to that, because you did the Bottleneck Index.
Yeah.
And delegation, that was like the worst, the worst score. But before we get there, your company, VINCO Innovation Consulting, is dedicated to helping companies be true innovators. I'm really interested in learning more about that. What does it mean to be a true innovator?
I like that you point this out, because like we all talk about innovation, and so many people are talking, and innovation is very abstract term. We don't like, we know what it is, but it's like, how do you become? And when you look at the successful innovators, successful companies that are innovating successfully for many years, first of all, they have been doing it for many years. And it's the whole company doing it. When you talk to someone, like usually people, when it comes to, okay, let's be more innovative. Okay, here's the process, how you implement idea, how you gather ideas, how you evaluate, and then you get one idea that you commercialize or spin off. But you can't have this process until you don't have all other elements in place. If you don't, like, how will individuals come up with ideas if they're scared, they're not creative? So you have to work with individuals to understand what and how they can contribute. How will they evaluate ideas? How will people give feedback, receive feedback on the ideas? Like, oh, when someone is criticizing your own baby, oh my God, don't do that. Like, we all feel offended. So all this has to be in place. And this is a culture of a company. And then also the company has to have it overall goals, organizational strategy that they will follow up. So everyone knows why they're doing what they're doing. And like what we think, it's like individuals make groups and groups make organizations. So you have to work on all those three levels in order to have innovation successfully implemented. That's what we think. And through all these readings and education in innovation, I think it's confirmed.
So now my question is, what is innovation?
Yeah, wonderful question. Innovation is all the ideas or services or products, processes, everything that brings value. So you can bring value towards the customer, and that's the best part of innovation. If you're doing it towards the customer, then of course, like and you can also work towards internally increase better processes. Then you are doing exploitations. You want to have more effectiveness. But when I'm doing it towards the customer, then you're working towards profitability. And then we talk about innovation that can be revolutionary, like disruptive, or big innovations that are changing the world. And then we have incremental, but it's neither this is good and this is bad. We need both. We need a little bit of everything, so that we those incremental, they help us to be more effective, to decrease the costs. Those that are much more risky, they bring us maybe new markets and totally new products, technologies that we didn't think about before. So it's a mix of both, especially for the big corporate companies. And of course, the small one companies, they're coming more with this disruptive innovation, and the big ones are coming with a little bit more with sustainable innovation.
Okay, so your definition of innovation is adding value to your product, to your customer, to whatever it is that you do. So let's take an entrepreneur. Now, he wants to add value, or she wants to add value, sorry, which I would hope so, all the time. But what's the journey? Where do you start?
As an entrepreneur, adding value, you mean? That's a good question. Like, many have ideas, many entrepreneurs that I have been working a lot with the startups here in Bergen. Many come up with ideas, and then you have to test them with the customers. If your vision fits the customer or the need, you have to go out, test it, and as they say, fail fast. And then I think those entrepreneurs that do that and all the time are testing and improving their vision, because we come with some assumptions and we have to test them.
Yeah.
And then, we can have true assumptions and they can be false assumptions, but it's important to test them and then improve it and work with them in order to succeed. And I think an entrepreneur, the ones that are really determined, like they don't give up. At the end, they succeed, I would say.
But when do you know you have innovation? When do you know you have added value?
Well, I guess when you start getting customers and when someone is willing to buy it, someone says, "Yeah, that was good. I want it." When it's put in use, you add value at something, you use something. If I had once a case, I remember long time ago, it was about increasing the ultrasound quality for some type of cancer. And then what's the value does this improved technology adds? Does it prolong a patient's lifespan for 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years? So what's the value? Like, should investors invest something that is maybe 2 months, but that's 2 months in relation to what? 2 months and already 5 years, or 2 months are already 6 months of life. So
what was the answer in this case?
Too small. In this one, it was too small. It was
too small.
Very big, yeah.
So the product didn't launch. Yeah.
No, it didn't. No.
Okay, but it's critical what you're talking about, because I hear that all the time. Stay close to your customers, ask them questions. Most of the entrepreneurs all the entrepreneurs who came on this show and talked about customers and live with customers, they always say that spend time with your customer, ask them questions, talk to them. And yet, when I mentor startup funders, especially startup funders, and I know you're a mentor too, I keep seeing them making always the same mistake, staying, being lost into that technical solution, rather than taking it out and trying to put themselves into the customer's shoes.
That's correct. And as I was doing with commercialization of research before as well, so I saw many times that researchers, they come up with their ideas, and engineers as well. But that's why those need to team up with the business people, because that's why we need to get this. Well, business people are thinking business, and like, what if you solve all the technical problems? Let's say you have a technical idea and it's everything that you are struggling with to get it perfect product you solved, but you have to test the customer. Like you have to have the market for it. And how big is the market? Which customer? Often people were like thinking that in their own small domain, Norway is 5.3 million. I'm originally from Croatia. It's around 4 million, a little bit less. So how big is the market? Who in the market? Is there any niche? Is it everyone? How then this everyone is served? So it's many questions, and as a technical person you get technical because it's much easier to handle with the technical details than with the people.
Yeah, that's what you know. Of course, yes. But very important.
Yeah, so I think that when you put those two together, then you get something very good.
I mean, it's actually one of the bottlenecks when you get lost into your technical solution. It means you don't talk to your customers, but you have to remember who pays the bills at the end of the day. It's your customers, not your investors. So put the customer at the center of everything that you do. And like you said, if you want innovation, make sure that you deliver value. Is there value for them? And I think this is important. It's not value for you. It's value in their eyes, right?
And like if I like everyone mentions Steve Jobs or Henry Ford. Like, if I have asked customers, they wouldn't know. They would say faster horses, and that is also true. Customers also don't know what. So it can also be that you have been asking customers, and it just like so. Then we have this design thinking on different methods. So it's important to really understand how you also ask customers and what you ask. And it can be the customers are not ready, the market is not ready. Maybe you're just too advanced. So it can be many innovation. It's not straightforward. So that's important, and as much as we want to simplify it, it takes time.
Indeed, the smartphone didn't happen overnight. I guess. Yes. So you're an entrepreneur yourself. Why are you an entrepreneur?
Oh, that's interesting. I have actually grown up in an entrepreneurial family. Okay. And my grandpa on my mom's side, he was an entrepreneur in 70s. Then Croatia was part of Yugoslavia. It was communism, and you were not allowed to have a private company. So he actually, in the 71, ended up in jail because he had been entrepreneur, had a private company. So he was in jail with all the political people over then, and we have been listening to this story all our childhood. And my mom and my aunt, they are both entrepreneurs. And since I remember, it was always some kind of entrepreneurship in house, So for me, it was kind of, I always dreamt to have my own company. And then now I have it. And I had several failures, or I tried different things. And this is something that I know that I have most experience, and this is rolling now. And and now I'm here.
And those failures that you had, can you tell us a little bit about them? It's always very interesting to hear stories.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Like
First, I was drawn into something that that I didn't feel that I belong into. That it's not my type of industry or something. Like, for example, fashion. For example, that's not something that I don't know, like someone likes this, someone likes that. My mom once asked me which color is better, pink or purple. I was like, whatever.
No idea. Yeah.
Is there a better color? Like, so like that was that, and then I struggled to get out, and then I was thinking about opening a cafe thing, but I was not interested in cafe itself. I was interested in the business, setting it
Yeah.
up. And then I didn't have anyone on the other side, the pastry and the cafe thing with me, and that was actually good because it was like a couple of years before Corona, so that not going into that was actually very good. And yeah, because I enjoy business, making things, making connections. Let's build something. Let's roll things. I'm very active and very I like doing things.
Yeah.
And yeah. And
so why did you end up? How did you end up with this company of yours?
And then I said, well, since I have been working so much with innovation and reading many articles, they said, you should, why don't I do the things that I know best?
Of course, yeah.
Why I don't do that? Like, why should I go into some other industries when I have 20 years almost experience then and know things and have been working in that? And I was like, let's just do what I'm actually expert in. And then I decided. And
yeah, it's often how you end up, the best entrepreneurs end up in something they know about or they're passionate about.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I can relate to that myself.
And that's the best, because we should build on our strengths.
Yeah.
We can capitalize much faster on strengths than if we are starting to build on weakness. Of course, it's possible. And of course, people have been doing that as well. Of course, there is passion. And then you eventually will learn things that you don't know about. But I love this. And that's what I love to do.
maybe this is how you start being innovative, is by focusing on what you love best, what you're passionate about.
Exactly. And this is very good what you're saying. Not only that, innovate how you become creative. In order to be creative, you have to have a deep knowledge about something, actually, research says. And of course, different perspectives, but you have to spend some time in this in order to be able to spin up something new or come up with some new ideas. So yes.
Right.
Passion, like you have to be interested in the material, interested enough so you learn a lot about it.
Yeah, and you keep on learning, I guess, about it.
Yeah.
I read somewhere once, or I heard it. I don't remember who said it, but we were talking at one point a lot about this being disruptive innovation, which I found a bit like meh. It's like a bit of jargon for me. And then until I read that quote, and I completely agree with it, and it was something around, who decides that something becomes disruptive except the customers, right? If they buy your product, then you will know that it is disruptive. But before that, there's no way you can say it's disruptive, but if nobody buy them, it's not, isn't it?
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah. So let's forget a little bit about the words and maybe more concentrate again on the value, what's in it for your customers.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And it's not disturbing until you actually get to the market and you disturb the market yourself.
I just wanted to mention that because I thought it was appropriate in this conversation. So just try to see, disruption in a different manner. Now, talking about disruption, I'm trying to disrupt the market myself with my Bottleneck index.
Same thing.
So you took it, and what did the Bottleneck index reveal to you, if it revealed anything?
Well, I mean, I scored very high on delegation, or like high, like that it's an issue, delegation and strategy thinking and letting go.
Yeah.
And that's not surprising because I understand. And of course, if I would have more resources, it's much easier to delegate when you have resources and you can, and letting things go. And I'm trying, and I'm constantly working with these things, and I have a fantastic team, Solen and Martina, that are doing a fantastic job. And I'm teaching them all the time so they can and I delegate as much as they can, and they are taking things up, but it takes time. This takes time, of course, for them to learn and for me to delegate, and then small things come up, small crises, and then you don't have time. So I'm conscious about it. I know there is an issue, and I'm trying to work. And what is my biggest bottleneck? I think is a decision that I will not going to take a loan, and I will try to avoid investors as long as possible. And that's then a bottleneck, because then you have to always earn money and then reinvest. And then it takes time. It takes much longer time to be able to delegate, let things go. So
you're saying because you don't have extra fund, then you cannot hire more people.
Yeah.
Then you can't delegate. So you're ending into this vicious cycle.
Yeah, a little bit. Yes. But it's getting in a good direction. So it's getting, but I know it's taking time, and I know that's the decision I took. So
why did you take such a decision?
Because I think it's possible. And I think if I will, I'm thinking to give shares to employees. So that's the direction I would like to go. And I saw lots of people investing, and I will try to postpone it for as long as possible.
I understand. I mean, there is two aspects here. There is, for me, there's the aspect of, private investors, so giving equity, but then there's also, there's the bank and getting a loan to the bank so that you can bootstrap.
No loans from the banks. Absolutely no. I'm not. We need to succeed by the customers, not by the bank.
Okay, so you don't have any external sources of finance except the customers.
Yeah.
And that is something that you've decided to go with. That's interesting.
No, I would never take a loan for this.
Well, I feel like there's a bad story there.
No, I never had. I mean, I have a bachelor in macroeconomics. So, my first flat I repaid after 5 years. So I'm very much if I can do it without the bank, let's just do it without the bank. And if it will take a little bit longer, I'm fine.
Okay. Are you afraid of anything from getting a loan from the bank?
No, but if something goes bad, like the interest rates and everything, and I have a family, and so it's a little bit
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. So with regards to delegation, because delegation there was a lot of episodes around it.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah.
What is
the one with the assistant, virtual assistants?
Yes.
That was interesting.
Yeah. And what is interesting with you is that you scored bad at delegation, and also you score bad at letting go, and usually they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because you don't let go, you don't delegate, etc. What is your biggest issue with delegation? Is it the money? Let's not talk about the money, sorry.
No, I think when you are small companies, you have to be sure that what is going to be delivered is going to be delivered well with the quality, because you're very fragile at this stage if something goes bad. So in order to secure the quality and everything, and I decide, and I want to teach people I have to deliver good quality, and I want to be sure to know what they're actually delivering. I want to be confident, and it's happening. It's happening. The team is doing well. So it's happening. Although I have been scoring low on your bottleneck.
No, but what I'm hearing here is control. You like to control stuff.
No, actually, I don't. I let it go often when I know people are going to do it. I just let it go.
Okay.
I do let it go, even though it didn't it's not visible from the results. But Solan, I let it go to her so many times, and she does wonderful things, and she surprised me so often. So
great, because this is usually what happens. Like when you let go, and you let your people, do what they're supposed to be doing, what you pay them for. Usually they're gonna blossom.
Yeah, but that was also one of the podcasts I listened to, and I was actually thinking to reflect on that. You need to know the people before. I think you need to little bit know the people before you let them do things. And for example, for Solan, I know what she's doing, and she's doing. For others, I'm learning now because they're quite fresh in the role, and we are quite fresh in our relationship. So and eventually this will come very naturally. So I'm not
True. It's important to know their strength, their weaknesses, of
yeah,
course, and those you learn with time, so
yeah,
that then you can capitalize on their strength,
exactly.
right?
And then if you employ someone who is coming straight from the school, then it takes
Sure.
a little bit more time than
Of
if you
course.
are employing someone who knows and can, and then you can give them the free hands. And this is like, for example, I have one senior, Kari, in communication, and I just, I want you to do this and this, and then she does it, and then
Yeah, of course. But then it's about setting your expectations
yeah,
also, maybe,
yeah,
and clearly communicating them to your employees, so that they know also what they what they should expect from you, but also what they should expect from themselves.
And you mentioned here two important things: expectations and communication.
Mm.
And those two things very often go bad. Right? Like
Yeah.
as much as clear we communicate, there is always some miscommunication. As much as there is always, and also with expectations, we are trying to explain a certain. I mean, we're all humans, so we all interpret things in our own way until we learn about each other a little bit more. So I think it's normal, but it's important to like try to understand expectations, what you are expecting from others, yourself, and that they understand what you are expecting of them, and then also communicate it clearly and good enough and often, I guess.
Very, very true. Where do you want to take your business to? What's your dream?
Yeah, we want to be we want to be one of the recognized innovation companies in Europe, and I want to go IPOs in
Okay.
2035.
Okay. When you said? Do you have a date?
2035.
2035. Okay,
Yeah.
so you still in 12 years. That's very that's a good deadline.
I think so. I'm learning both from my grandparents and my mom.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
didn't have this plan, and when they went to pension, the business went to pension, and I don't want to do that. And like so, from the very beginning, I said I wanted this. This is the goal, and also give shares to employees so they are motivated, and we together can bring it to the goal.
Yeah.
In 20.
And what do you think needs to happen for you to achieve this dream?
Well, we have to deliver. We have to grow in the competences in the market, and all the time develop with all the trends, so we can deliver services to the customers that they actually need.
But you mentioned also something at the beginning of the conversation, because you said an episode that was very interesting is with Alex, who mentioned he was not the CEO in the company. And you said this is something you were considering. So
Yeah, I
stepping
have
back.
this one friend here from Norway who did that a long time ago. I'm like, why? Because I'm a founder, and they talked about difference between founder and the CEO. And I love it. Not everyone has to be a CEO who is the founder and the other way around. So I'm very open. Like if someone is better, why not? If I get tired of this position, of this role, why not? If my one of employees wants to take it, and I think it would be better they take it than I do, why not?
Yeah. If that would happen, what would you do then?
Well, then I'm in steering committee. Well, I would be part of steering committee, or I can have some other role that I would maybe I would be consultant within the company. I don't know. I'm open pretty much to everything as long as it makes sense and it's the best for the company.
Okay. So looking at your entrepreneurship experience, including your failures, what are some of the big lessons you can share with us?
Yeah, I saw that question, and I think the biggest learnings is it's so damn difficult.
Yeah.
Because everyone, I want to be a big boss, and everyone goes with this. I'm going to start my own company, and I'll show everyone how good I am, and it will go phew like this. And then you realize
it's not that
complex.
easy.
It's complex. It's not easy. It takes time.
What is complex for you? Why is it complex?
It's a complex because you need to build it and you need to sell it, and you have to do it at the same time. You have to build a team. And then you have the customers, then you have macroeconomic situations that also impact. So everything it's interconnected. It's not like, okay, now I have this idea and I'm just selling it, and then I'm selling it and plus minus, sometimes I'll sell, I will not, and then I will, but it's not like that. And then when you have a small team, you're very fragile on the team, if they are dedicated, how dedicated they are. And then how can you handle crisis or if something happens, and then this takes lots of the time away from selling, for example, and marketing. So it's quite complex. In the beginning, you start as a one man band show.
Yeah.
And then you have to specialize, delegate, let go things, and it's a complex growth.
Yeah, it's very true. And plus, you also have to wear so many hats.
Yes.
Sales, marketing, HR, legal, whatever, etc.
Accounting, this, yeah. And like in Norway, it's very good because lots of things have been very digitalized and simplified. Accounting, bureaucracy is much slower than in some other countries, but still, yeah.
What skills do you feel you lack today to grow your business, if any?
Yeah, I think like sales is my biggest weakness. I'm like, it's difficult for me to sell myself. It's much easier to sell someone else. Like, oh, I love Lauren's podcast. It's really good, and it's 30 minutes, and it's just a way to work, and you get you learn something. Yeah. But when you have to sell yourself, it's always like it sounds so fake, imposter syndrome or something like it. Yeah. It sounds like I shouldn't be selling myself. I don't know. It's stupid, but
no, it's not, because this is something that I hear often. It's common, especially among entrepreneurs, but not only. A lot of entrepreneurs say that, but I think it's natural. But yeah, no, completely understand. All right, so coming up to the end of this podcast, 2 more questions for you. First one, my favorite of all: take all your experience and summarize it into one practical recommendation for other entrepreneurs. What would it be?
I would say just do it as soon as possible.
Don't wait.
Yeah, just start because when you start getting experience, you will see how it is, and then you will also be able to measure if this is something for you or not. And the books and everything, that's all nice, but being out there, I think it's as soon as you start doing it. And I think it's much better to start your own company than start working in another one, because when you are starting your own, then when you're in the big companies, then you're very specialized. And when you start your own, then you have to know, as you said, you have to have many hats. You have to understand accounting. You have to suddenly understand macroeconomics, marketing, HR, sales, everything. And then this gives you a breadth of perspectives.
Yeah.
Than if you have been working in one company and very specialized role. Yeah. So if someone wants to do it, I would say just start doing it. Like, start playing with it. Try it, play.
Yeah. Nothing replaces practical experience.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, like in Norway, they have these young achievers, and they try to put kids also in the end of the high school, that they start up companies, and I think that's a very good idea, because when you start doing that, then you actually understand how difficult it is to earn money and then reuse it for something else, to produce something. And only when you understand this cycle, then you can understand actually the business itself and the value creation in society.
All right. So my last question then, if people are interested in you and what you say, and they want to know more about you, how can they contact you?
They can contact me on our web pages, which is vinco.no, Vinco with C, not K, vinco.no. Or they can also find my phone number there, and they can call me, they can write me an email or LinkedIn. So I'm very approachable. So I will be glad to hear and have a talk and to hear other people's bottlenecks in innovation.
Excellent. Yeah, because if you tackle your bottlenecks, you might be innovative.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Barbara, for your time today.
Thank you, Laurent. Thank you a lot for this nice conversation and nice questions. And thank you for this wonderful podcast you have. And I think they're very interesting, and I will be keeping listening to them.
Excellent. Well, if you want to do like Barbara and keep on listening, please do so. Subscribe to the podcast. And if you enjoy this episode, Leave me a 5-star review. Go to ratethispodcast.com/interviews podcast and follow the simple instructions. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye bye. Thank you.